Goodbye forever, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Okay, but what does this mean? Something I liked about the 2000 Sonic games is it felt like all the games existed in a connected world. What helped give that feeling is the character arcs that would carry over from game to game. One of the main character arcs during this time period was for the ever popular Shadow the Hedgehog. See, Shadow was introduced in Sonic Adventure 2, and in that very same game, he was killed off. But because Shadow was such a popular character at the time, Sonic Team decided to bring him back in Sonic Heroes. But when Shadow returns, he has amnesia, and he has no memory of who he is or his past. It is revealed later in the game that Shadow might not be the same Shadow from Sonic Adventure 2. Thus is the reason why he can't remember his past. Throughout the game, Shadow wonders about who he is in his fractured memories, whether he's the real deal or not. But by the end, he decides whether he's real or not, he must take down Eggman. The game ends without resolving whether Shadow is an android or the real deal. The next game release, Shadow the Hedgehog, opens with Shadow pondering his past, as he hasn't completely let go of it. Having amnesia, all his fractured memories leave him with is confusion. Suddenly, aliens begin falling from the sky, and Black Doom approaches Shadow, telling him about how the
reckoning will soon be here. Find the 7 Chaos Emeralds and bring them to me as promised.
Shadow, having no memory of this promise, is even more confused, but believes he may find the answers he's looking for if he fulfills this promise. Now this is where things get tricky. Shadow has multiple different paths you can take throughout the levels with multiple different endings. What's actually canon to the final true ending is a bit tricky, but I'll cover the most important deets. In the Dark story, Black Doom tells Shadow he was created to kill the humans. In the Neutral story, Shadow remembers his fall at the end of SA2, and Eggman tells him he's an android of the original Shadow, and that he is his creator. In the Hero story, Shadow remembers the arc and his time with Maria. In the final story, all of these conflicting things he experienced throughout the story play through his head. And finally, Shadow tells everyone to fuck off. No, like, for real. Shadow decides that he's done listening to what everyone has to say about who he is. He gives up on learning who he was in his past and accepts who he's become now and looks towards the future. The Shadow from Sonic Adventure 2 really was dead, gone forever. Not literally, as Eggman states that he saved Shadow with a robot. This is the real Shadow, but the person that he was in that game is gone. When I first heard that line as a kid, just like many, that line made me sit in confusion. What does he mean goodbye? It wasn't until I analyzed all the cutscenes to Shadow that I began to understand what Shadow meant. He wasn't literally saying goodbye to himself, but metaphorically saying goodbye to his past. We even see the payoff for this arc in Sonic 06. In 06, Shadow is completely moved on from his past. He's working with Gun, an organization Adventure 2 Shadow despised. The main antagonist, Mephiles, tries to deceive Shadow in a similar manner to Black Doom. Mephiles is from the future and shows Shadow how humanity will turn against him, but Shadow is unshaken by this. His resolve to do what he believes is stronger than ever. Shadow states,
If the world chooses to become my enemy, I will fight like I always have.
Shadow's character evolved quite a bit over the course of 4 games, and he's probably the most developed character in the entire franchise. It's unfortunate that the meta era butchered his character to being much more angsty and aggressive. But hopefully with the shift in direction, Shadow's character can be restored. But that's all for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing as it helps the channel grow. Anyways, this has been Bingo, and I'll see you on the highway. Peace and have a good one.